Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Happy January 3rd, I guess. Something like that. I'm going to let people kind of get here. It is good to see everybody. Oh, geez, that is actually really bad, and I kind of wish it wouldn't do that. Kind of refocus the... Okay, well, I guess it's just going to blur the board or the bar, so that's gonna be fun. So hopefully all is well with everybody. We had to have a last minute schedule change because unfortunately Andrea is not feeling good. She hasn't been feeling good since about last night, so she thought she was going to be able to make it tonight. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. In fact, she kind of last minute canceled just because, she thought she could do it and she was pushing herself really hard, saying, yes, I think I can. And her body basically said, no, you can't. So it's just me tonight. And even though we did have some plans for some new games and whatnot, I figure I'm just going to go ahead and play some games and hang out with you guys, talk some topics that have been happening throughout the internet. The interwebs, as it were, and we'll have some fun playing Dead Cells in the meantime, and we'll go ahead and let people kind of gather, and as long as you guys are okay with it, I'm just going to go ahead and swap over to Dead Cells. We're going to play around, assuming I can actually get I'm such a boomer when it comes to... Alright, I'm such a mess maker when it comes to being able to properly organize my desk. I really should learn how to do that. So we'll just go ahead and play some games in the meantime, and wow, really, there we go. I don't know why that was doing that, but it was, because why the hell not? Okay, I want to make sure. Okay, so why is it not? Let's see. Yeah, move to the D-pad. Okay. I want to make sure that it actually works. And of course, I'm having issues already. Okay. I'm trying to play Dead Cells with a controller. I don't know why you won't let me. Let's do this. Yes, let's go ahead and do that. And hopefully it will let me just do this. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's actually working. I will let you guys go ahead and gather up, and I am going to go ahead and just play a little bit and get some Dead Cells runs going. And of course, there's been tons of DLC since I've been able to play, and already this was kind of a new file. So we'll make it work how we make it work. I don't think I have anything. Okay, well, that's fun. Get changed. Do I even have anything that I can get into? I do. Oh, interesting. I have... Okay, why not? I'll change my appearance. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, beginner's bow. Okay, I have a sword, so that's all that matters to me. And of course, I'm still dealing with a freaking cold, so I'm going to probably make a lot of rasps and everything like that, so bear with me. Okay. And we get to have some fun. This place feels so peaceful. I feel oh, yeah, this is the Everyone is Here update, so at that point... Oh, that's kind of cool. We get a Hollow Knight nail. Is it better than what I have? Actually, it kind of is. That's kind of cute. They basically just did like an indie gaming update. Oh, shit. Maybe I ought to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna do some brutality, and I swear I moved faster than this. Let's see, video. I could have sworn the gameplay moved faster than this, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. I don't know. Oh, cool. And that's right. I can use the... I can, in fact, use the D-pad. So things are working again. Okay. Oh. I shall take that. It will be a nice help. I'm gonna go another red. Double cross-o-matic. Okay. Hopefully all is well with you guys. Oh. Well, big chest. I shall take that. And it's already better than what I already had. Okay. I can't remember how far in the game I am at this point. I couldn't remember if I even had the vines yet. Okay. No. No. I don't want the cudgel. There we go. Okay, cool. Toxic sewers. Because why not? So yeah, unfortunately, Andrea is not feeling very good tonight. We originally planned to do another brand new game to be able to kind of finish out January, and unfortunately, just not feeling very good. So we're just gonna do some solo time tonight. Hopefully, she starts feeling better tomorrow, and then we'll worry about Horizon or something to that effect. Let's see. What do I have? I have a backpack that I cannot do. Recycling. Oh, yeah, that's right. So first things first. Of course, I'm missing one. Because of course I am. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's see. Let's do combo. And that's it. I'm okay with that. Okay. Hello, Giro. Manly, raspy voice stream, yes. I'm trying very hard not to, but right now I can pull off a pretty good Gandalf. A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. Oh, hi. Come here a second. A little slow, but you seem to understand what I'm saying. I mean my rune. So you see I'm a little stuck, and I need my rune, you see. You wouldn't mind finding it for me, would you? Maybe. Maybe I would mind. You don't know. Somewhere inside the sewers on your side of these bars. Bring it back to me quick. Okay, whatever. I will keep it for myself. Thank you. Oh, jeez. Okay. And Scorpion came out of nowhere. I mean, he just came in and said, get over here, and did not tell me why. Whoa! Okay, I will take that. Ah! I'm just channeling my inner Gandalf. Let's just look at it that way, Jiro. By the way, Happy New Year, Jiro! I had not been able to talk to you since I think it was just before the holidays, so hopefully all was well with yours. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. We're making some progress. I can't remember if this... Yeah, it does hurt me. No boom. No bombs. No boom bombs. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. I have a little echo. Okay. Nope. And dead. Hey, J-Rock, how you doing? Happy January 3rd, I guess. And Jiro, Happy New Year's. I got sick this past week, too. Kind of recovering first day of work today was rough. Yeah, that's kind of the case for us, too. The kids got sick throughout all of the holidays, and we just had to take care of them, and then I got sick next, and now it's Andrea's turn. Because I'm like this. It doesn't sound like it, but I'm actually getting over mine. Because I was just like clogged up for the last couple of days. It's not been fun. Oh, you're the new doctor. Collaborator, help me with some experiments. Okay, with Mod 3. What am I helping you with? Oh, okay, so I can get an aspect right off the bat. Equipping an aspect prevents you from unlocking new boss cells during that run. Oh, I'm gonna hold off. You're doing pretty good. Good to hear. Because I'm going in for another run. Door's locked. Well, screw you then. There we are. Well, now it's open. Same at our house. Past sickness all around. Yep. Look, if you have kids, it's just what happens. Especially if they're still in school. You're just gonna pass it around. There we are. I love Dead Cells. It's such a fast-paced game for a roguelite. Ooh. Spartan Sandals. Are they technically better? No. But the infantry grenade would be. So. And you can just build a whole new build every single frickin' time. It's great. Yeah, so that happened, and I've got the Gandalf voice because I'm still kind of recovering, but I also have to work in the meantime. Because it is January, and unfortunately the holidays are not done with Amazon. Because now we're doing all the gift returns. Okay. I am not going to be able to... That is so dumb. Maybe I get an ability later that helps with that, but I would love to be able to fix that problem. Of just being able to slide in moments like that. Because it always feels like, you know what, in Prince of Persia I could do that. Oh, cool. Scroll of Power. What does this mean? I can do this. I can add on to my brutality. Okay, what do we got? Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, I can't do that. Well, that sucks. How dare you? Nutcracker and Firebrands. Welcome, Vampire Gigallo. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. I promise I will pay a little bit more attention to you guys when I take a little bit of a break. I'm just trying to do a couple of runs, and then I will talk to you guys, because I really just kind of want to talk to you guys. I have no problem admitting that. I like Dead Cells, but I haven't been able to talk to you guys all holiday season, so get any new games or anything interesting for Christmas? Well, we technically did. As far as new stuff, not really. Vampire Gigolo, I've made it a little bit farther than this. Like, I've a couple of bosses in on Switch, but this is new. I'm playing it on PC, so I'm starting fairly new on it. I think I've unlocked maybe like 1 or 2 areas, but yeah, there you go. Promenade of the Condemned. So I promise I'm not a noob. I've played a little bit, but I just decided to move over to PC to do streams with you guys. Yeah, to answer your question, most of the stuff we got for Christmas was stuff that basically helped us get through work days, if that makes sense. As far as games, jeez, I pre-ordered Pokemon Legends Arceus for Andrea, and I think that's it, because I was really thinking that Metroid Dread was going to come out around the holidays, and it came out in October, so I just bought it at that point, and instead I got a thing to help out with my neck. I've been through this game one time. Oh, okay, cool. But see, here's the cool part. It's a roguelite, so you can do it numerous times, and it's fun. And I'm especially loving the new Everybody Is Here update, where it's full of DLC. DLC from other indie games. I mean, I just barely got the Hollow Knight nail, so in one of my runs. Okay, so now I have this, and let's go ahead and get some gold reserves too. So I hope that answers your question, Jero. We did get new stuff, but not a whole lot, if that makes sense. Oh, jeez. I really should do, like, Combo or Killer Instinct. Just to kind of keep my pace going. There we go. And now I've got a brand new flask, so I gotta fill it up again. And also, if you guys are having problems hearing me, feel free to let me know. I've got some background music going on, but don't worry too much about that. I'm just here to make you all mellow-like, while I sit here and go, yeah! Because that's what I do. Okay, there we go. I have to get my land legs again, because it's been a while since I played Dead Cells. That's one of the cool things about Dead Cells, is you can come back to it whenever you want, and you're not that far behind everybody. Unless you're like super uber speed runner, which I am not. Okay. Maybe at some point. I'm not worrying about it right now. Yeah, not really a whole lot here. I just like the fact that it's kind of a fast-paced Diablo-like game, and so you can just bust through it super fast. Although technically I should be playing Diablo to get the new season done, because I've been working on that. At least it's easier than boy. Well, I mean, difficulty is in the eye of the beholder on some of these games. Sometimes you create your own. You create your own handicap. Holy shit, I'm going 88 miles per hour! Ah! Okay, that was not a good idea. But I made it work. Let's go down here. Whoa! I don't think I have the stomp either. Yeah. Okay, so I can either go purple. I'm gonna go with tactics. Whoa. One of the reasons it also works for me is because I've played endless amounts of combat games like this as a kid. So, like, Strider and many, many other games. So this is just my cup of tea. Okay, so I can't get any of these. Although the... Actually, that might not be worthwhile compared to my sword. Because Because my sword is still like 138 DPS. But it's pretty slow. So do you... a weapon, a shield, or 2 weapons? I tend to actually do melee and a ranged, just because sometimes like the situation will demand a ranged solution, and so I like to have that. And occasionally what I like to do with the triggers is I like to have buffs or something frost related so that I could freeze grenades so that I could freeze people and deal with them, and because that's like really helpful for a boss. Just keep them in place for a little bit. Another thing is like turrets, specifically like fire or frost turrets. Those are really fun. There we go. Although I have also done like ranged weapons in like my main one, and then I put a shield in the other, and that was kind of fun. I think one of my most fun runs was having a whip, and I was in a real Castlevania mood. So like I was just kicking everybody's ass with a whip, just going da 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 da. All right. Screw you and your bombs. Okay. Go down here and see what we can do. Scroll of power. I'm going to go another brutality. And then we'll start worrying about things like survive. Oh, jeez. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's right. They're being buffed. That's right. Oh, wrong button. That's what I wanted. There we go. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is actually one of those situations where I will take a bow because I get the legendary. Ah, shit. Well, that was my fault. That was absolutely my fault. I should feel bad about that. Oh, well. Crap like that happens from time to time. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot to check this, but did they make anything else worthwhile in here? I mean, it's a secret zone, but... Okay, so really fast, I'm gonna change things around just a little bit, talk to you guys for a second. Because that's kind of like how I tend to do things, Vampire Gigolo, is I like to talk to you guys in the middle of breaks and just kind of shoot the shit. Since you're brand spanking new here, but yeah, going back to Jiro's question, anything interesting? I mean, we got the pre-order for Pokemon Legends Arceus. The most actually, I should point this out, because if I don't, Andrea will literally kill me. So Andrea hates winter. She absolutely just hates wintertime. And this year was the worst, like to the point where she's actually been cranky on stream. And she feels bad about it too. A lot of people don't realize that, but she does feel bad about it because she just doesn't like the cold. And I think we've made the joke that she should just come on with a blanket and then she'd be okay. But yeah, she doesn't like the cold. And this year, going downstairs has been really difficult because our furnace is up in the ceiling or in the attic. So at that point, the second floor of our house is the most hot. So she wants to stay up here, but then she wants to go downstairs and go make something, and it's just too cold for her to do anything like that. So this year I worked with my sister-in-law on this because she got a really good space heater. One that they used for years and like went through their 3 kids and everything like that. So I worked with her and said, okay, let's figure out, something similar to what you have so that we can start warming the downstairs area. Got it. It works great. It's actually kind of comforting for me too. so that I can just kind of sit there, and if I don't want to wear socks or something like that, then it's still warm enough. But now she's just so happy because she can come downstairs for dinner. She can go and make herself a drink if she wants to. All the stuff that she gets mad about in winter that she can't do. Yeah, lucky for her. Very lucky for her. So this will hopefully help out with the bad mood when it comes to wintertime. We're hoping anyway. So that was an interesting thing that we got for it. We also spent a good portion. Have you tried using the window sealers during the winter? Actually, we actually need to do some work on our windows because I'm starting to want, like, we were told initially when we bought the house that we would probably need to like recaulk the windows in, I don't know, I think they said 2 to 3 years, and we've technically gone like 2 years past that. So we actually do need to recaulk the windows. So we probably need to do that if that's what you're talking about, or are you talking like some new tech for windows? Because our house is pretty old. I don't want to necessarily break it trying to put in new stuff. I mean, dude, for crying out loud, last year I put in an AC and a brand new AC and a brand new furnace. So I'm not looking to spend a whole lot of money in 2022. Let's just put it that way. But there's a ton of reasons why. Like, she just naturally doesn't like the cold. Any kind of snow or ice, she's immediately bitter. She just doesn't like it. And on top of that, like, you know, the fact that she has to get up at 5 in the morning to go to work doesn't help. In fact, I felt really bad for her. What was it? I think it was the day before New Year's. We had a really bad snowstorm that put down, I want to say, like a good 1.5 feet. It was high enough that it covered half of her tires on her SUV. Sounds like me when it's winter time. I like the cold, but I'm not a glutton for punishment. So I get it. She doesn't think I get it. I get it. I tend to go out there just for breaks every now and again, but when winter comes, it's not fun. So like I'll go out for a break, but that's about it. But yeah, the snow was like half her. She has an SUV, like Honda CRV. It was half her tire's height. And she had to go out and drive in that. And it was 5 in the morning, so nobody was on the road. Not like maybe the plows were out, but they were out on the freeways. And so she had to drive in that. No, they're this cheap plastic that you use double-sided tape, and then you use a hairdryer to make it tight. They have kits on Amazon. Ooh. You know what, Jiro? I'll look that up, because that sounds like it might work a lot better than caulking the windows. Or maybe we could double up with that. I like the cold too, but I prefer a nice 80 to 90. See, for me, it's ideal temperature is 68. 67, 68. I'm okay with it. That's me in my most comfortable environment, which is not this office. I'll tell you that much. This office gets to an easy 80, 85, maybe even 90, 95 in the summer. So, yeah. Then again, in that time, I go fishing. So, yeah, well, there you go. That makes sense, now, doesn't it? You go out fishing, and that works out for you. So, I mean, that is comfortable for you. And that would be comfortable for her, too. She loves being out because, like, her family would go out to Moab, Utah, and like, go camping and stuff like that in the summer. So she loves that 80, 90-degree weather. And unfortunately, she doesn't get it until July, August. I guess it's really bad. If it's really bad, you put bubble wrap first, then the plastic. I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe, but I do like that tape a lot better than just relying on caulk that maybe or maybe not will hold up. I mean, the house that we're living in was built in 2002, I think. 2002, 2003. So you got to figure that stuff out. But maybe we can do the tape and see if that would help out. It also probably doesn't help that she likes to have it at about 73 in the winter. And so at that point, that means I open up the window to go to bed because I need it colder than that to be able to be comfortable. And so she probably gets mad at me for, like, if I get up at, like, midnight or 1, then I'll close it. But, yeah. There are things, what I'm basically saying is, there are things that work against her in this, not just that she hates the cold. She also has to live with a husband that loves the cold to an extent, like, feels comfortable in the cold. So, she has to deal with that, too. You put bubble wrap first, then the plastic. I mean, I don't like. I'm not against that idea. Anything that keeps the heat in and saves my heating bill. Yeah, we've actually. So we got to do the caulking on the windows and also I think on the bathtubs too, because that's starting to come loose on one of ours. Because I'm handyman, right? Yeah, no, I'm geek. So usually the way I handle this is I go to my father-in-law and I go, well, they did say that we have to do it around this time. Do you think we really need to do it around this time? You can probably wait another year or 2. Okay, cool. And that's how I handle it. Because he's a handyman. He's fixed all this, and then he can also help me out with DIY stuff to get the job done. But I am glad that you guys had good holidays and all that. I mean, we still did too, because we were able to spend time with family. And that's really all we wanted in the long term. But another thing that was very helpful on that is that we got to have a little bit of a break from work and on the week of Christmas, mainly because we were taking care of our kids. Because, of course, the kids get sick first. And what made it worse was... my oldest got sick, or had a bug and didn't know it. Then we got her flu shot, because we were running a little late on that. So she had the flu shot symptoms, plus whatever bug she was carrying. So in turn, she developed like a really nasty ear infection. Then she gives it to her little sister. And then I eventually get sick with just a cold. My grandma used to call it the winter sniffles. I got sick with the winter sniffles. And had to deal with that. Hence why I sound like Gandalf. Because that's fun, right? I like sounding like Gandalf. Wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. I really wish I could go into some of the bigger speeches. I am Gandalf the White, and I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. I'm such a geek. But it's okay. And I also am really liking this new setup. I got a whole new lighting set for it, and finally got something resembling a casual kind of setup, so that's great. I'm still needing to work out this bar. I might need to get a whole new arm to figure that out. This is an arm that I've been using since, yeah, probably all the way back in when I moved into this house, like 2013. So yeah, I guess. But I am glad all is well. I guess in the meantime, like, that's a good break. So unless you guys have any serious questions, I'm gonna get back to it, because why not? We'll get into some PC gaming again, and then I can take a break a little bit later too. Because, you know, we have some stuff that we can go over. I already know some people want to ask about podcasts and everything like that, so I can give at least an update on that if I need to. Okay, is this not working? Oh. There we go. Is that working? There we are. Okay. So let's see if we can do this and do it proper. Get a little bit further than what we've been getting so far. There we go. Screw you. There we go. Let's grab that level up really fast. Let's do brutality. Excuse me. I will say one thing I did consider getting myself for Christmas this year, but it just didn't work out. Because I'm so sick and tired of talking about like Thundercats Roar and stuff like that. I am such a bad geek. I do actually not own the original Thundercats on DVD. And I was going to go and get myself a set, but unfortunately all the sets that I was looking into were either too expensive or the provider was out of copies. So that didn't happen, but it is going to happen because I've been on a real Thundercats kick lately. Like, I really want to go back and watch that series again. Because there actually are worthwhile life lessons that can be learned from Thundercats, of all things. Mainly because it's a Rankin Bass show. Yes, Rankin Bass made stuff that wasn't Christmas related. I know. It's freakish to think about, but yes, it happened. Okay. Ooh, oh, come on. I don't want to get to the toxic sewers right away. There has to be some new stuff that I haven't found yet. Do I really want to do that? Yeah, might as well. Might as well, because then maybe I can get a buff, because I have been a good boy and going quickly. Jeez. Also, send your well wishes to poor Andrea tonight, because she is just not feeling well. She really wanted to make it tonight, but she just didn't have the strength to do it. It reminds me of G.I. Joe and the Sarge yelling at kids at the beginning of the show. You mean Sergeant Slaughter? Yeah. See, I didn't watch a whole lot of G.I. Joe, but I knew a lot of the tenets of it, so I get what you're meaning. I've actually been really tempted. I keep on getting advertised that there's a 24-hour streaming channel on YouTube that streams nothing but G.I. Joe. And I've been kind of tempted to go watch G.I. Joe episodes and see if I get into it. Because I know that the same people who did Transformers also did G.I. Joe, but I just wasn't a G.I. Joe kid as a kid. I was into other things. I was into Transformers, Voltron, and Thundercats. As a kid, I really liked King Arthur kind of stories, and that's what Thundercats felt like to me. Oh, and I can already hear my daughter screaming. She's giving mommy all kinds of grief. I might need to go handle that in a minute if it gets bad enough. There we go. She's probably being punished. Okay, I apparently have this ability, and I didn't realize I did. Well, screw you. Game, you should have told me I had that. That's not my fault, that's yours. Whoa. Screw you. Ah. Nope, screw you. Or even checking out, like, the Hubs version of G.I. Joe's, what was it, Renegades? That was supposed to be, like, anime-inspired. But it was a Korean studio instead. I love it. Anime-inspired. Still went with an Asian studio. Because why not? Oh. Let's go up here. Oh my goodness! There we go. Okay, took care of that. Took care of that. This is me with fast-paced action. I just kind of get enveloped in it. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so brutality. Ooh, lots of cells tonight. I'm happy about that. You know you're Naruto running. You know that, right? Yep. Also, I'm just curious about this because I know a lot of people that follow the streams are totally against Christmas music, aside from like on certain days. So I'm just curious, what have people been listening to in order to avoid Christmas music the last couple of weeks? Me, I've actually been listening to a lot of anime orchestral stuff. So I've listened to You Say Run who knows how many times. It's just that good of a song. There's a reason that people make the joke, You Say Run goes with everything. Because it is just that good. Ooh. Oh, I think I saw a whip. Oh. Oh, you know what? I'll take that. What doesn't kill me? Okay. Electric whip. I don't like the traps. I don't. Robin, it's so good to see you. Welcome. Happy New Year. I'm going to do this, and I know it's probably going to irritate some people, but I love the electric whip. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Sinew Slicer. That's what I want to see. Little turret that I can put out. Oh, there you are. Oh, did I find your rune? I don't know. Did I? Oh, is this where the rune is? Okay, why not? Oh, hi. No! Damn it! I lost 38 cells on that one. Damn it. Oh my goodness. Oh, good news for people who love the marathon night. So Andrea and I have actually recorded the first our overview of the first season of Fruits Basket, so you guys can look forward to that in a little bit. I'm editing it right now, so hopefully we'll be able to get it out by the weekend. No, I don't want any of these just yet. Ooh, chest right off the bat. Ooh, I like that. Ah, shit. Okay, it's a grenade, so I can't necessarily be too mad about it. I just like being able to get given some unique weapons to mess around with. There we are. Also, I have some bad news, Robin. I actually did try to put up a Christmas tree for the holidays this year, but I got given some bad news. Unfortunately, my pre-lit small tree, it died last year. So I'm so sad about that. I would have liked to have received a retro full-size Pac-Man arcade machine for Christmas. Sometimes simpler games are good to play. Hey, hey, hey. Nothing wrong with Pac-Man. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not the biggest fan of Pac-Man, but I can understand. Like, my dad used to love Pac-Man, so I get it. Uh-oh. I think we broke this. Machete and pistol? Well, I just got my Christmas wish now, didn't I? I will mess around with this. Why not? Okay. Well, I've never gotten a machete and pistol, so let's mess around with it, I suppose. No! Oh, it must have been cursed. God damn it. Dying Christmas tree? Maybe try next year. Yeah, I'm going to actually go and look around and see if I can get another one. So don't worry too much about that. It'll happen. Because that tree got given to me as a Christmas present a couple of years ago. And so I was really sad to hear that it died. Apparently, my wife actually tried to use it. She didn't want to put up the Christmas tree last year, so she tried to cheat her way out of it and just put up the little tree. And that's when she noticed that it was dead. It's like, no! I just may not get a pre-lit tree this time. I might just go with something else. No, Firebrands is not worth it. Not yet, anyway. There we go. Oh. Grab the money. Money is always a good thing. Crap. I was not trying to do that. I was trying to do it to the previous floor. The hell. Okay. They teased me with a machete and pistol, and it worked, by darn it. That's one of the cool things about this game, is that you can literally just build it different each time. So if I don't want to go with brutality, I want to go with tactics, I can totally do that. If I want to go survival, I can totally do that too. Ooh, well, that's new. A cudgel. No. I don't want no cudgels. I don't want no stinking cudgels. Oh my goodness. And I can afford it. Yeah, baby. Get a nice balanced blade. And now I'm cutting the way I'm used to. Oh, jeez. Gandalf voice. Just give me a break, will ya? Ow. There we go. My Gandalf voice will not leave me alone. What can I say? Okay, let's do one more brutality. And then we'll start doing tactics. I love being able to go around the way I am. Yes. Ooh, drumstick. Grab it. Hey, cool. Promenade of the Condemned. Oh my goodness. And I still don't make it. I got River City Girls, the remake of River City High School NES game. Yeah, I've actually, me and Andrea have talked about doing that for a stream. It has a lot of streamers to do the voice acting, like the Game Grumps did some voices. Yep. I like it when they do that. I really do. You guys have no idea how much, like, indie game devs will go to online marketplaces for voiceover. And it's such a cool thing to see them do it. Because AAA won't do it. Like, let's just be honest about that. I'm gonna do Vengeance instead, see if... Can't remember if I used Vengeance or not. It's such a cool thing to see them do stuff like that. And what's interesting is Andrea's never... So she had a Sega Master System growing up, so she never played the original River City Ransom. So she was just like, I don't get how this game has a legacy. And I'm like, well, it started back on the NES. So we might have to tackle that one. That's actually one thing we've talked about doing for 2022 is we want to do more multiplayer nights, and she really wants to do some beat 'em ups. So we'll probably do quite a number of them because I love me some beat 'em ups and some running guns. I have no problem keeping the weekdays like the usual kind of Let's Play format, but I really would love to be able to have nights where we can just play with you guys. Sometimes I don't like, I feel like I'm being the selfish dick for just playing all by myself. No. Because I want this. You didn't expect that, did you? See, once you get that momentum going, a run in any roguelite is just amazing. Hence why I've become a real fan of roguelites and Metroidvanias, because they kind of have the same flow. Once you get going, you get going. No. I need to get up here. Screw you guys. Just kill off everything in my way. Some days you just want to get on and kill shit. Hello, Bobby. Welcome. Holidays went okay. We got sick, but we're okay. Unfortunately, that's why Andrea's not here. Andrea is the last one to get sick in the family. So send your well wishes to her. Ah, shit. Oh. That was not a good idea, and I wished I hadn't done it. There we go. There we are. Really need to get some health. Ah, I can't do this one yet. I don't have my wall bounce, I think is what it is. Ow, shit. I did not mean to do that. Okay, can't do anything down here. Ooh, thank goodness. Ah, shit. Oh, you son of a bitch. Knock me down to one freaking hit point. There we go. I keep forgetting that I have this. What the hell? There we go. Well, let's face it. Dealing with you, Shadow, and Chat would make anyone sick. Hope you for a good review. I mean, that's true. Hurts, but it's true. I can't necessarily get mad at him because it is kind of true. Let's see. Let's do tactics for this one. Well, I mean, it's also that it's... we'll do another tactics. It's also just because it's winter, so everybody's more susceptible to getting shit. I can't remember if I have what I need for that one. After I die on this run, I'm going to take a break and talk to you guys. Ooh. Oh, shit. Yeah? I mean, I have to. I love dual wielding, so... I might have done myself a horrible disservice, but I don't care. Faithful likeness of the king, to the glory of the illustrious ruler. Someone adding something underneath. A brave and courageous message. Yes, indeed. This is a great statue. We'll skin you alive. Wow, that's actually a really great quote from them. Oh, you little bugger. I saw what you were about to do. Nope, screw you and your little doll, too. Okay, go over here. Oh, are we going to make it? Yes, we are at the ramparts. Yay! I did it, everybody. I finally made it past another one. Even though I've done this before. No. But we can get a couple of things from you. Let's do gold reserves. Hunter's Instinct, Tranquility, let's see. Let's do a deployed skill. I think I did counterattack normally with this one. Okay. There we go. Ramparts. I'll keep going till I die, and then I'll talk to you guys, because, yeah. We're going to have some fun with that. I really do need some side weapons. That might be my next objective. Is to get some worthwhile trigger weapons. Stop giving me worthwhile melee weapons, okay? Ooh. What did you get your kids? What was their favorite gift? So this is gonna sound weird, but... Actually, I need to think about this. What was their favorite? Did Arya have a favorite? Arya just kind of played with the toys that she already has, because that's who she is. Oh, okay. Melody's favorite was, and this sounds really dumb, but she's getting to that phase where she's a helpful little girl to mommy. And so we decided to get her one of those Fisher-Price, it's like a cleaning kit. So it comes with like a toy broom and a toy. There we go. Got it. Oh, was that worth it? Why, yes it was. So it comes with like a toy broom, toy mop, and stuff like that. And so she was happy as a clam being daddy's little help or mommy's little helper, doing house cleaning. So she was happy about that. And Arya was very just happy that we got a couple of games for her. Actually, you know, the thing that got her excited, now that I think about it, was she's a big fan of the series PJ Masks, and so we got her a game that was based on PJ Masks for Switch. Originally it came out for PS4, but then they brought it to Switch, and we waited to get it for Switch. Because the Switch is a lot easier to put into other parts of the house right now than anything else. And so, is she playing it? No, she actually just gets excited that Daddy plays it. If that makes sense. Hey, that's actually thoughtful. Help her learn domestic skills so she learns to not live in filth and have standards. What are you trying to say, Bobby? What are you trying to say? No, you're absolutely right. That's kind of why we wanted to do it. I mean, she's at that helpful phase, so we might as well, you know, encourage her being a helper. You're trying to say that I live in filth and squalor? I mean, you're not wrong, but that's beside the point. I don't keep my bachelor-like standard. No, I actually don't. Because I was paranoid and always cleaning in my 20s. The other thing too that Aria loved is this wasn't a Christmas gift, but we played a lot of Hot Wheels Unleashed because she just loves that game. Loves it. And so we unlocked some cars, and we got to see some cool courses, and did a lot of that. I wished I could have done a lot more Forza, but believe it or not, I actually have some of the same issues than that I do off stream too. I really do need to get a better graphics card for it, which is kind of sad. You know what? I'm gonna do this one instead. Have fun while that phase lasts. No kidding. No, I'm appreciating it. Clearly, I'm saying that you are a wonderful man and have pristine living conditions. Good boy. Good boy. And Andrea will tell you that I absolutely do not have any of the stuff that you say that I do. I'm not a slob, but can be. Throwing knife, it is better than the bow, so we can go with that. Ah! Oops. I did not. I totally meant to do that. That was part of the plan all along. Well, it is okay to be wrong. Yes, it is. Unless it's wintertime, and then you can't be wrong in front of my wife. You can't do it. But that's primarily because she hates the cold. Ooh. Did I find a wall chicken? I found something. Ooh, baby. I will take that. There we go. Ah, shit. I don't want any of these. If it was a good teleport point, I probably would take it, but no. I'm actually having a really good run. I'm very proud of myself right now. Okay. More brutality. we have got to be coming up at the end of this area. There we go. There we go. Brutality or survival? No. We're going to do another brutality. Any big plans for 2022? What do we have to look forward to? Plenty, and I'll get into that in a second. I promise I'm not ignoring you. I'm just on a really good run. As they would say in arcade culture when I grew up, I've got a bit of a score going. Oh, come on. Screw you. There we are. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, grab the shit. Need some shit. The only thing I'm not willing to talk about is podcast stuff. I'm still making up my mind on a lot of that. On how I want to proceed from here on in, because, well, I have not been able to put that much thought into it, and I want to make sure I've got it all right. I never feel you're ignoring us, except that one stream where none of my chat said. Yes. At that point, yes, I was ignoring you. Well, that didn't work out. Okay, well, let's try this. Ooh. Stun grenade. I don't think I've ever gotten that. If I have, I don't remember. You know what? I have fallen so many times, I don't know if I can get away with it again. Yeah, I don't think I can get away with it. Yes, I've never ignored you, except that one time where I totally ignored you. There we go. I've got myself a bit of a run going. I didn't expect this to happen. To be good at video games? Oh, Blackbird. Well, there you go. It's boss time, everybody. I think I go right into it, don't I? I think I go right into the boss fights. I mean, if I get a break, then that'll feel silly. I did get a break. Now I feel silly. Okay, 27 cells, and we got quite a number of things to be able to... Ooh. Frostbite. Enemies suffer while they're slowed down. That's actually kind of cool. So go ahead and get that. And random melee weapon, I can't get that, but... Double cross-o-matic. I could totally do that. Or I could see myself doing it. But I don't think I will. I think it actually might be a better idea to go with like a random starter bow or something like that, because I think I could get some good shit out of that. I'd have to unlock some bows, but I could totally do it. Yeah, let's do that. Random starter bow. Let's put that in there. And another mutation. Let's see. Support. Reduces cooldowns. Blind Faith. Necromancy. Ooh. You know what? Master of Arms. Instinct of the Master of Arms. That's going to be helpful. And now I can do this. And it's boss time. Because I think Black Bridge is the first boss. And so this guy's going to kick my ass because I'm probably not adequately prepared. Finally, a moment of rest. Hell no. No, it's the concierge, so... Hell no. Ah. Ugh. Oh, shit. No! Yeah, I knew I was going to be a little rusty. So, darn it. Okay, let me put myself back into the main room, and we'll answer some of that questions. So, grab the 1,000 gold found, and yeah, give me a second, guys. There we go. So you guys get to see my brand new setup where I've got better lighting and everything like that. So, plans for 2022. I actually do have a video that's going to be coming out pretty soon, and also a little podcast that I want to kind of address things, but I'll just go ahead and let you know right off the bat. So, a lot of focus is going to be going towards the podcast. I think gaming content is pretty much where I want it, because I love doing the live streams. I love being able to talk with you guys. I like being able to try out new games as well as old games that I've never tried out, and I think we found a really great balance of that. And I love having Andrea on. I know that a lot of people are like, well, you know, why do you bring your wife on? Is that a weakness or whatever? I do it because I actually have fun playing with her, as well as we get to have some cool conversations, and she doesn't necessarily know everything that's going on in the gaming sphere. So at that point, we can have some really good stuff to be able to work with. And I like what we've done with Drak and Shadow as well. Me and Alex have both basically agreed on that what we've done with the live streams for that is really fun. In fact, we actually really loved the fact that we were able to bring the finale part of both Catherine Fullbody as well as so we've been able to do a lot of that stuff. Podcast related, I actually do have a number of goals, one of which is the resurrection of Geek News Game Night. But not in the way that everybody thinks it is. A lot of people think, oh, well, that was just a Let's Play thing, right? Well, we kind of retired it for a little bit because the schedules just weren't working on that. So at that point, I decided, since I've already been working on this retro review concept, I will put it under Geek News Game Night. And in case I'm giving the impression that I've been lazy this entire holiday season, I've not been. Any off time has actually been working on game reviews for Geek News Game Night. I'm pretty set on the I'm pretty set on the Sly Cooper review. That one is going to be the first one, and I think I've pretty much and I like where that's going, so that'll be the first episode that happens. But I've been hard at work on other games that there's a couple of things that I want to do with Geek News Game Night, and one of which is be able to take multiple games on at a single time, because some of them will take longer to beat than others. And I go into detail in this video, in the video that'll be coming up. So there's a couple of things coming out, so you guys can look forward to that. That's coming out. I'll keep quiet about the rest of the stuff, but let's see. I actually missed this. Any plans otherwise? Not YouTube related. Life goals. Right now, the life goal, you're talking about like New Year's resolutions, basically. So the really only New Year's resolutions that I have have stemmed from the last 2 years. And I've made goals that I think are acceptable. So at that point, one of them is to get a little bit more fit, because obviously, you know, I'm a bigger dude, and I don't want to have health problems later on in my life, like I know that my parents did and everything like that. So I'm going to keep working on that, and the job helps with that. And now, thankfully, at least for like 2.5 hours twice a week, we have 2.5 hours free from any kids. So that's definitely possible. The other deal that I've actually been working on is cooking, because I want to be able to learn to cook. I know a lot of people that enjoy it, as like creative people that legitimately enjoy it. And since my kids are such a challenge with being able to teach or to get eating new things, that's been my challenge, is trying to find things that don't hurt my oldest daughter, as well as my youngest daughter can eat it too, and we can eat. So my goal the last couple of years has been like learn 10 recipes, and then the next year learn another 10 recipes. And this one, it's going to be the same thing. Learn another 10 recipes, and maybe even improv some recipes to be able to work for my kids. So I'm very happy about that. But those are primarily the life goals. Is I want to get fitter, and I also want to I want to be more fit than I currently am, so that I can be able to do my job more efficiently, and also being able to do cooking and things like that. So I hope I can catch some more of your duo live streams. I'd like to get to talk to him as much as I talk with you. I know Alex really liked your contributions on that, so we're going to be getting that going a little bit more regularly. We just have to make sure that it'll work. That's the biggest problem. Because right now with January, he's busy with inventory, and I'm busy with returns, so it probably won't be able to start up again until mid to late January. But at that point, then we want to do it at least a little bit more often than we were doing it this year, which was like once every couple of months. I think right now the way that we're talking about it is to at least aim for like once a month we do a stream, and if so, more than that, like twice a month kind of thing. But we'll keep you guys in the loop for that. Makes the Let's Plays easier, right, and more fun. Yes, that's why I like the live stream format in that sense, because like I don't want to just be a gaming YouTuber, and that's why I think the gaming content is set. We have a lot of fun playing games the way that we are. I can stream solo and enjoy it, and you guys will enjoy that, in my opinion. And then also with Alex, I think we've figured out a nice way to be able to do it. And the other thing too that helps out with that, Jiro, is, and I've been working with you on this, is the compilations. I really like that, because but in a specific context, where I like that people can go to just one video that kind of sums up that game's experience for people. So instead of doing what I was doing with like Last of Us Part 2, where I did multiple ones, I'm actually looking to kind of merge it and be able to do like one big, this is the experience of watching us play The Last of Us Part 2, or this is what it's like watching us play FF7 Remake. Because remember, I started that in the compilations, and then I decided early on, like, this would be so much better if I was just doing it as one video that just sums up our streams of it. And then maybe I'll make a playlist or something, and you guys can go and see the actual streams. I was a personal trainer for the OU basketball team. If you need help, reach out. I also love to cook. Happy to help too. I appreciate that, man. I actually do. If you've got anything to say about adding rice to everything, then we have some conversations to have. Because that's basically what I'm doing with my kids, is I have to make a meal that's more soft, so that, because my oldest daughter doesn't necessarily chew her food. She like chews maybe once or twice, and then she swallows it all whole. And so at that point, what I basically decided to do is I want to get her to eat more things. She loves rice. We'll just add rice to everything. And it's actually worked out. I've been strangely surprised with how much we've been able to make it work. Although I have a feeling by the time we get to teenage years, me and Andrea will just be done with Rice. We will want nothing to do with it. You do well alone, and the duo content just adds to it. Honestly, you guys are just easy to hang with. I appreciate that you don't overplay or oversell reactions. It feels honest. Well, I appreciate that. I do overplay and oversell sometimes when I think it's deserving. It's one of those things that, like when I would react to trailers watching E3 with Andrea, where I actually would overreact when, you know, the Resident Evil 2 trailer came up, and I was all but convinced that game was dead. So you will get overreactions. They happen. But there's merit to it. So I'm glad that you like it, though. Chicken bouillon cubes, bay leaves, and a 1/3 teaspoon of butter for every 1 cup of rice makes it perfect. Okay. All right, I'll look into that. I don't have any chicken bouillon right off the bat, but I can get some. my older sister loves using bouillon for beef, chicken. I think she uses turkey stuff too, and pork. So I have not gotten as good with that, but she's helping me figure that stuff out. Oh, during the gameplay? Well, that happens too, because sometimes I get super mad. I was actually really worried that Mario Party Superstars was going to have that reaction, because I have been thoroughly screwed by both Andrea and Alex in Mario Party. You have no idea. And so that's kind of why I really wanted her to play, because I knew I would have that overreaction. Because she just is so much more lucky than I am. So that could have happened. But it's not going to be just because I want to entertain. It's going to be because there's a fucking reason for it, if that makes sense. I don't play a character on screen. This is who I am. If you want to see me play a character, I do voiceover, and so at that point I will play a character. But one thing I made painfully clear at the beginning of the streams is this is me. This is how I game. This is how I react to stuff, and sometimes I do overreact. I mean, for crying out loud, Jiro, how long did I obsess over the arm glitch in Last of Us Part 2? That's because of that. That was how pissed I was at that. I missed that stream. Would have been fun, though. Well, it turned out to be pretty fun. Like, I was playing a lot of online, but Andrea was so miffed at the winter that she didn't want to play. And I was like, dude, we need to have one where we play, because she is so much more lucky than me, and it would actually make me mad. Like, legit mad at some of the stuff she gets pulled off when we play Mario Party. That's what I meant. You're honest is just enjoyable to be around. Yes, that's what I try to be. I play a character when doing voiceover, or when I'm writing, or things like that. And maybe even when I do like some of these reviews, I'll have a skit or two. But I like being a genuine guy, because I don't think a whole lot of YouTubers are. Honestly, I think too many YouTubers try to be something else. Hence why we have this issue now with a lot of veteran YouTubers who were way edgy in their early career, and now they're regretting it, because now we live in the age of Twitter culture digging that up and holding that against them, and they regret it. And it would have been so much better if they had just been honest and legit. The best example that I will give with this, and I can't even believe I'm giving it, but Doug Walker. Doug Walker and James Rolfe have been able to establish that genuine feel of who they are in a lot of their stuff. And then you still have the character of the angry video game nerd and the nostalgia critic, and you're still able to get into that. I can't even believe I just referenced Doug Walker, but, well, frankly, he's somehow, despite Change the Channel, he's survived better than any of his other Channel Awesome cohorts have. So at that point, I mean, you gotta give him some credit. Yes, who are your top 3 inspirations on the platform? I will answer that, but if you don't mind, Bobby, I need a really quick break because I am out of water. So I will be right back, guys, and then I will answer that question. I promise. But I need to take care of this. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. It's dry in here, so that's why I love getting the question of occasionally, like, you guys, you drink so much. Yeah, it's dry in here. And it's hot. So, yeah, I don't like dry mouth. So, let's see. Let me get back into this. Too many people that later said that they were not being genuine in their content creation. Yep, they were playing a character. And then the problem is that you would then have them regret doing that. Because then at that point, like, people didn't know what was real and what was pretend. A lot of creators have done that and have since moved to formats kind of like I have. By the way, I also brought this since now I don't have to get up so early. We had an excess amount of pop for New Year's because of Christmas. And so I had to go make my own Slurpee bar. So I've been mixing Slurpees and testing that out. So yes, I'm going to eat on stream. How dare I? So let's see when we actually get it. So yeah, that's kind of the problem is people don't know whether or not they can trust you. And what's even worse is a lot of them were adhering to like the kid-friendly standards, and now the kids are basically like the adults, the kids and the adults are demanding like a non-PC persona. And I found it funny seeing like their live stream personas become that. Also, when the persona wears off, they feel trapped by it. They can't evolve with the times unless they've made it so that they can. That's the problem, right? Is if you've engineered something to be what it is, you have to be able to engineer it so that it can grow. If you don't, then that's why the Angry Video Game Nerd has lasted as long as it has, is because even James has admitted, you know, you can only be angry at NES games for so long. You have to find some other way to be able to get that anger across. And so that's why he's been able to last as long as he has. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of catch up, but who are your top 3 inspirations on the platform? So on YouTube, jeez, that's changed a lot since I started. One of them obviously would be James. James Rolfe has found a way to be able to be the angry video game nerd, and then through a lot of people telling him at conventions that they like his genuine personality, that he found a way to be able to do that. So, you know, it started off with like James and Mike Mondays and some of the other stuff that he was doing, like not Monster Clash, that would be Romney, Monster Madness. And being able to do some of that and not be the angry video game nerd. So I think James is one of those people that should be applauded because of the lastability that he's found on the medium. Other inspirations. Again, that's changed over the years. The Nostalgia Critic would probably have been one at one point, but eventually I kind of got tired with what he was doing. And he had kind of the problem of he wasn't able to grow. What's funny is that he went off and he wanted to get rid of the Nostalgia Critic, and then he went off and did whatever show it was, and it failed. And then he came back and did the new Nostalgia Critic, and he actually left room for that character to grow, and that's why it's lasted as long as it has. But I think it was actually a good thing for him to take that year and like figure out, okay, I have to bring this back, but it can't just be stagnant. So, one inspiration, James Rolfe. Definitely James Rolfe. Another one that I'm going to give some credit to, because I am a podcaster. I love listening to podcasts. I like doing podcasts. I actually like doing podcasts more than gaming content. A lot of people don't realize this. I like having conversations more than I because like with gaming, like I'm just sitting there playing the game. I get to interact a little bit more when it comes to conversation. So one person that's come up with that is Joe Rogan. The fact that he has been able to have conversations that frankly nobody would have had 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And been able to do that and have a lasting podcast out of it. Whether you like or dislike him, he has been able to show a lot of versatility in his product in the way he does the Joe Rogan experience. So I've actually kind of modeled a little bit of the podcast into that casual format because I think it works and I think it's genuine. And that's what people want to see. They want to see genuine people. So Joe Rogan would definitely be one. The third one. Because I wouldn't say the Critic is one of them. At one point Linkara would have been, but Linkara went mask off, and so I don't have a whole lot of respect for the guy anymore. Yeah, I'll have to think about that, because James has been like another inspiration, even though he kind of was on this platform, but he really wasn't, was another podcaster by the name of Scott Johnson. I actually worked with Scott Johnson for a little while doing segments for one of his podcasts, The Instance. And that's kind of how I started. You need to get Joe on your podcast. I would love to be able to get Joe on the podcast. I don't know if I have anything to be able to bring him on. But God damn it, I would just love to pick his brain. That would be the funnest 2 hours that I could ever think of, or 3 hours that I could do. Just pick his brain on comedy, on film, on creativity. That would be fun. But the third one would probably be Scott Johnson, because I worked with him. In recent years, I wouldn't say he is one, because he kind of went down that woke direction and it really didn't work for his product, because one of the reasons that he worked as well as he did with his podcast is he appeared genuine. He was a genuine guy. And then, unfortunately, he went, in recent years, he went very PC. And so at that point, he kind of created the question in an opposite way, where people didn't know if he was being legit or not. So it's just a deal. It's just a nickname I used to play World of Warcraft, and my guildmaster just trying people's names to call out. So, yeah, okay, I get that. That's actually really fun, Jiro. I love that. I also like the fact that for a while there, he was using Hiro Yui as his avatar. It's just like, oh, that's great. So yeah, Scott Johnson would have been one back in the day, but because that's why I decided to keep my podcasts genuine and also to keep them the way that they are, which is at the end of the day, you just want to crack open a cold one and listen to the news that doesn't upset you, that doesn't piss you off. So, what are you the hero of? Yeah. Oh man, getting Joe on the podcast would actually be so freaking amazing. And by the way, I've actually worked out some guests, or at least I'm reaching out to a few guests, because I want to try and do a podcast that is kind of Joe Rogan Experience in a way. It'll be limited in time, but it's basically where it's just a sit down, and I can talk to a YouTube creator, a Twitch creator, anything like that, and we can just shoot the shit for 2 to 3 hours, either in the medium or in the gaming industry or wherever they want to talk about it. And this also includes politics, because whether we like to admit it or not, politics is very much getting in the fandom space, and so it kind of has to be addressed. Or at least, in essence, it's the culture war aspect that has been joining in to a lot of fandom discussions, hence why we have big wars with Ghostbusters and He-Man and all that. And so I can't just ignore that. I can't pretend it doesn't exist. So that's what I want to do. I want to have talks with creators on the platform that maybe I don't agree with all the time, and some that I do agree with, and just have those honest conversations. How do you prepare your podcast, like topics and research? So how do I prepare for them? Well, mentally I jam out before recording. That's literally what I do, because I just try to, like, I'm a naturally nervous individual when I start, and so I have to ease out the nerves. So I go and dig out some rock songs that are inspirational and do that. But you mean more the back end. So preparing for podcasts, like topics and stories, I will go throughout the week and just see what stories come up in the geek sphere that I think are relevant. And I actually like in later years, I opened that up to Romney and Alex as well, to be able to find, like, because I wasn't big into the anime world, and I wasn't as big into the film world as Romney was. So I opened it up to them too, and then whatever could stick and that I could make a story work out of, I would. Like, eventually, if people remember back in the Radio SLCC days, I used to do stories or I used to bring on stories that had very little to them. And so we'd talk about them and we'd get whatever we could out of them. But as the years have kind of gone on, I don't do that, which actually kind of irritates Alex to an extent. Because a lot of stories that he would bring up in the anime world were like, this person got cast, or this anime's happening. And it's just like, okay, cool, this anime's happening. What else can we mention on that? And even in some cases, Alex had to admit that there wasn't a whole lot to go with. So that's why in a lot of cases, some of those didn't make the cut. And I became a lot more selective of it, especially when it came to political stories, because I really just didn't want politics in there. I might have revised that a little bit now, just because of how things are. As far as research, I do what I've always done. Like, I always try to find an article that has the most meat to it, that we can get the most amount of information from the subject as possible. Sometimes you can find it, and sometimes you can't. That's the luck of the draw when it comes to the internet. There's been a lot of them where, and in some cases, I do read the articles. Sometimes it doesn't look like I do, but unfortunately, I'm old, and sometimes I forget factoids that are in it. And that's where Romney was always kind of doing the gentle corrections, because I would forget that and keep moving on, even though I meant to have that part in the story. So that was very helpful at those times, and one of the things I will always appreciate Romney for. But that's pretty much what so I would take a couple of sources on it. If I can, I try to, when it comes to like a diametrically opposed kind of topic, like Masters of the Universe of Revelation, I will take a story on one side and a story on the other, because you can find journalists on both sides, or journalists on both sides, and then try and find something neutral and then come to my own opinion on it. And that's really all I ever did. The only difference is the rumor mill, because I love going into the rumor mill because sometimes the coolest stuff can come up, and I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about the possibility of it. You know, is it cool, the possibility of maybe a Silent Hill remake being done by Sony instead of Konami? That's the gist. I actually think I irritated Alex to an extent because I always liked doing it. And listeners actually did love it when we brought up the rumor mill, because sometimes it would lend itself to some fun conversations. Do you ever fear getting struck or banned for having controversial or unpopular opinions? That's a multi-pronged answer, Bobby. Do I fear getting struck or banned? Maybe at one point I did. Hello, Rising Sun. Welcome. It's been a while since I've been able to see you. Do I worry about it? Yes. Is there anything I can do about it? Not really. YouTube has made it painfully clear, if you have an opinion that they don't like, they will ban you for it, or they will shadow ban you, or they will hurt your channel, or they will do... I'm pretty sure... I do not know this. I've not looked it up, but I'm betting if I looked into the code of my YouTube page, I probably have shadow ban flags on it. It would not surprise me in the slightest if I did, because I have opinions that rock the fucking boat. And that's okay. Because when I was growing up, it was okay to have those opinions and to have the conversation. For some reason now we can't have the conversation because it's too offensive. It might hurt somebody's feelings. But, well, I hate to be the guy, but sometimes real progress happens when people get their feelings hurt. And that's when we actually address some of the things that people may be worried about. So, do I fear about it? Not really. Not really, because it's something that I really just can't control. I will continue to have those controversial and unpopular opinions. I've had them all my life. So nothing will ever really change that. Life has been busy and stuff and things. Yeah, no kidding. Like I've told these guys, I have been sick over the holidays. First my kids had it, then I got it, and unfortunately Andrea has it right now. So send your well wishes over to her, because she probably needs it. Hopefully that answers your questions, Bobby. The other thing that I also do with preparation for podcasts is I know that a lot of people will laugh at me for saying this, but fake it till you make it. If you're nervous, fake it till you make it. And eventually you, like, it's a psychological thing. You start buying into it yourself. And I mean, I used to get so nervous in the first year that I did podcasts at Radio SLCC. And I would, like, Alex can attest to this, because he would come in with me. And I'd just be jumping around a little bit, trying to get myself loose, because I was so wound up that I would probably make a lot of mistakes. And this was the only way that I could do it. But the more you do it through repetition, the easier it gets. So that's definitely something that has helped. But occasionally I still do it. I just get myself loose because maybe I'm having somebody new on and I don't know how they're going to react to my personality. Because, yeah, my personality's gotten me in trouble before. Rising Sun can attest to this. I got in trouble over at his server, too. So, it just happens. Let's see. Oh, shit. It's like 9:15. So, we could probably do another run in a little bit. But I'm having fun talking to you guys, so this is great. I know somebody's walking in here going, I expected to watch Dead Cells, and here you are talking. Yeah, that's how it goes. I haven't been able to talk to anybody. Like, most of December I had to sit out, so I'm happy to be able to just have conversations tonight. It happens, yeah. I mean, we had a game set up, and then Andrea decided she just didn't feel good enough to be able to do it. So I just said, you know what? I can go and play a roguelite or a Metroidvania and just chillax and talk to people. I'm totally okay with that. And that also might be something that happens in the future too. Andrea, I love her dearly, but you know, she does have a rougher schedule than I do. And so at that point, I want to make sure that we keep her good to go for when her shifts come up. So there might be more times in 2022 where I just come up solo. And it's just because Andrea is dealing with something and I want to make sure she gets the sleep she needs. Otherwise, she'll basically just fall asleep on the stream, and she doesn't want to. She actually gets interested in the games that we're playing, but she's just so freaking tired, either from the kids or appointments or whatever was happening that day or work, that it just doesn't work out. So we'll be a lot more selective with that and make sure that she gets the rest that she needs, because this is supposed to be kind of a hobby for her, not necessarily a regular thing. Also, in case anybody's interested, yes, this is a homemade Slurpee, because I have a bunch of pop in this house, because I got the assignment for Christmas Eve to provide pop and then couldn't go. So now I got to use up a bunch of pop. So what did I do? I mixed it and then froze it, since I love Slurpee so much. So I've been messing around with various flavors. It was kind of an interesting New Year's Eve, because I had made a couple of flavors, and the most fun I got to have that night was trying them out. One didn't work out, and one did. And I'm happy about that, but... So for all the people who are probably getting mad at me, like, that's not very professional, you're eating on the stream. Well, here's the thing. A lot of the streamers that I follow eat on the stream. And they stream longer than me. Hell, Maximilian goes like, what, 5-6 hours? He might not do that regularly anymore, but he goes 5-6 hours, and so he'll have like a little snack here and there. He'll have a drink. So I've just become of the opinion that you can't really avoid it. Especially if your throat just gets dried up and you got to keep talking. And by the way, it's been great to be able to see everybody here. We have some new people like Vampire Gigalo, who has joined us tonight. But it's great to be able to see everybody and be able to catch up, because, like I said, for November and December, things got so hectic that I wasn't able to do any of the holiday things I wanted to do. And so I'm happy to just do a little bit of a catch-up tonight and show my appreciation. Because that's something that I don't get to do a whole lot of, is be able to show my appreciation for you guys showing the support that you do to my work. Because all of this ultimately is a hobby, but I love the fact that you guys are just as invested in it. So that really helps in a lot of cases. Hold on, there were actually a few that I missed. Holy shit, sorry. When you inevitably explode, will you remember the small time Jiro and Bobby? When I inevitably explode? I know what you mean, Bobby, but spontaneous combustion could happen to me, and I don't appreciate that you wanted that to happen to me. Here's what I'm definitely going to do if that ever happens. And don't take this the wrong way, but I've kind of abandoned that concept because I really don't think anybody can get YouTube famous anymore. I literally don't think YouTube wants that to happen again. And they don't want anybody to explode because there's a lot of times where, yeah, that can benefit them, but a lot of the time these days, it's somebody who's a detractor. Somebody they can't control. And so that bothers them. I especially loved when Nick Rekieta boomed during the Rittenhouse trial. And that, I'm sure, pissed off Mama Susan so bad. Because Nick Rekieta is anything but a person who plays by the rules on YouTube. So if it does happen, here is the one thing that I would hope would happen. And I've said it to Jiro, I'll say it to you. If that happens and I ever forget where I came from, like so many creators before me have, and I can name them off, but there's no point. People know who I'm talking about. And if they don't, they, like, maybe I'm not talking about the one I think I'm talking about, but you know somebody that has that issue too. If that ever happened to me, I would love to be able to have that reminder, because I would welcome it. And if I didn't welcome it then, all it would take is for me to get the sense knocked into me, and then I would appreciate it. I never want to forget where I came from, because that's the problem that a lot of creators have now. They forgot where they came from. They forgot that they started at 0 subs just like everybody else did. And are so obsessed with the fact that they have 10, 20, 50 million subs and don't worry about anything else. You came for the mood. You know this. Well, there's some people that actually would agree with that. That's what's funny. My second mom would agree with that because of some of my weird habits. So, yeah, I mean, you could be right. So, let's see. Jiro, even big names like Markiplier have been having a hard time keeping up the persona. Yes, actually, Markiplier is a perfect example, because he has run out of games where he can just be Markiplier. And one of the perfect examples that I will give is Among Us. Holy shit, he could not keep that persona going during Among Us unless he was straight up playing with Bob and Wade. It would not work. So I know for a fact that despite his huge amount of subs, he has had trouble evolving over the last few years. Simply because his personality is that he's stupid and doofy. Even PewDiePie's having that problem. Also, when the persona wears off, they feel trapped by it. They can't evolve at the times. Yes, absolutely. They have an issue. Like Jiro said, they get trapped into making the same stuff because that formula works. And that's the problem, is that you're running into an audience now that just has to have new shit all the time and is not content with having a stagnation episode, so to speak. Like, where we've done this formula before and it's just as entertaining, kind of thing. And part of that is the audience's problem. I'm not denying that. Like, from a creator standpoint, you can only change things up so many times before the audience is just going to go, bleh. Except the funniest thing is they'll go to the new hotness, and the new hotness is doing the exact same shit with a different coat of paint. That's it. You really think PewDiePie is that different from Markiplier? No. Neither is Jacksepticeye. Neither is Cinnamon Toast Ken. That's why they worked well together. Nostalgia Critic, Linkara, Lupa, whether or not they want to admit this, they all were pretty much the same thing with a different coat of paint and a different specialization. Okay? There is no difference in how anybody from Channel Awesome did their format aside from the content that they reviewed. That's it. Or their take on the review. But it was the exact same formula, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's just be honest about that. So that's definitely something that has to be considered, and the audience also just has to get used to the fact that only certain formulas are going to work in certain formats. And whether it be YouTube or TikTok, it's the same either way. Oh, okay. I was wondering what Jiro was meaning by this. All that did was push people to other platforms. I think he was meaning about the controversial or unpopular opinions. But that's the thing, too, is that Susan wants things the way that she does, except nobody wants Susan. So what happens when you don't like Susan? You need to have competition. And whether or not does that competition need, this was one of the things that we struggled with really hard on the podcast. Does that competition need to have Susan's money? And I would actually argue no, it doesn't. And here's the perfect example that I would give to you on this. You know what? I'm going to change the stream just a little bit because I have a feeling I'm just irritating the shit out of new people. And part of me doesn't care, but part of me also just wants to update that. Let's see. I know that I can change it. I just can't remember where. I would just change the topic to just chatting so that I don't feel like I'm irritating people. But they're like, I'm coming here for Dead Cells, and then no Dead Cells. I was talking about YouTube and not wanting people to get big anymore. Yeah, and that's why they went other places, is because you've pretty much hit the ceiling on how much audience you can get on the biggest platform there is. And so now what do? You look somewhere else. It works both ways. Like it can be about controversial and unpopular opinions, but it can also be the problem that a lot of people are having. Even Markiplier has to admit it. You know, he still gets a somewhat steady degree of subs, I think, but it's slowed down significantly. I'll bet if I brought up a Social Blade right now of Markiplier, the numbers would be staggering, because you know, he's tried to do his shtick on Twitch and it didn't work out. I think he started to move into other places like Rumble, but it's not really working out for him either. And so he's coming to the realization he has to evolve the character than anything else, or he can just be complacent. Which is, look, guys, that's also a choice as a creator. You can just be complacent and be happy with what you have, and that's totally fine. That's why I gravitate to small channels like yours. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Don't take this the wrong way when I say, like, I want to be just as good as anybody else, and especially if the product that I'm giving is worthwhile. But I also don't mind being small because, well, I'm just happy to have you guys willing to check out what I have to offer. Because that's all I can ever ask for, is to put a butt in a seat. That's all I can ever ask for, and then at that point I can move forward with it. Another streamer was talking about an average watch time for Twitch is about 3 months till they switch to another streamer. Yeah, it does happen. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either, Zero, because I think you and I kind of had this conversation, is that, you know, I love the support that Zero's given me, but in all honesty, I'm not going to play games that Zero wants to see all the time. And so at that point, Zero, it's actually in Zero's best interest to have a couple of other streamers to go to, just in case I'm not really providing anything entertaining for it. And that doesn't offend me. It shouldn't offend me. Because at that point, like, if he was just watching me, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, I appreciate it, but life gets kind of boring at that point. I mean, I like watching Maximilian Dude for fighting game coverage. I like watching, I just barely got into, what is it? Bloodshed, for Diablo coverage. And I appreciate that. I was also watching Mr. Llama SC for Diablo 2 coverage, and I love that. And I've also, the other thing that I've been getting into is watching individual speedrunners' Twitch channels. And part of it is because I like that little interface that they have with the games that they're playing, so that you can actually see when they do good and when they don't do good. So, like, in the case of an RPG, if they don't kill the bosses fast, you'll see, like, that adage to time, and so that's somewhere to improve. But then you see a bunch of, like, negatives where they've actually made good time on killing bosses or getting certain events done. And that's, you know, like, you start kind of getting into the hype train for them, and you start seeing them improve. And that's a good thing to me. But if Zero just kind of watched me all the time, well, I think that would be kind of boring, in all honesty. We wouldn't get new ideas that way. I always enjoyed Llama. He plays his game and just does his own thing. Yes, and he knows his game as well as he does, although I think things have changed a little bit for him since Diablo 2 Resurrected, because like everything was set for years in Diablo 2, and so he could easily do those guides. And now I actually think he's kind of reapproaching how to do those guides, because Resurrected, I think they've admitted there's going to be patches to it, and there's going to be updates to it, so he can't necessarily think that everything is going to be static. And so that might be an interesting thing for him to be able to see some of the other builds that can come out of it and see his reaction to it, because up until now he's only ever had the builds that were available in a game that came out in 2002. So that's kind of cool to be able to see that. So, but that's also why I listen to other podcasts too, because I listen to Joe Rogan Experience, Friday Night Tights, for geeky related stuff. I listen to my stuff just to edit it and everything like that, but then I also take the time to listen to other people's podcasts in the same medium, just to make sure that I still kind of sound like I'm having the right conversations, kind of thing. And what I mean by right conversations is, am I hitting the things that I want to hit as opposed to what they're hitting, which might be the more mainstream thing to go, and I might not want to hit that. But I mean, back to the 3 months, like that's not surprising to me in the slightest. I don't think it's that they leave. They don't leave permanently. They just go look for something else. Like they want to see somebody stream, I don't know, Chrono Trigger, or like right now Apex Legends I think is one of the bigger ones, that in Fortnite. And so at that point maybe people are looking into other games like Minecraft or Call of Duty, just to have something new to look at, new game footage. And that's just fine. I think that's a good thing to have happen, because then at that point things don't stay stagnant. Stagnation's a bad thing, is what I'm trying to point out. Sometimes stagnation can be a good thing, but creatively, if you have enough stagnation, it doesn't help any process there. And so it's actually a good thing to be able to change things up. Are there any other questions I missed? I just want to make sure. If Rising Sun is still there, I want to bring this up. So Bobby Corwin actually said I need to get Joe Rogan on my podcast. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, dude? I think that would be a fucking awesome episode. I honestly think. But it would be awesome on my end, because I would just want to pick his brain. I just want to pick his brain. But then again, I also wouldn't mind doing a podcast where I pick Rising Sun's brain for a couple hours, because that sounds fun to me. I'm not doing it just to do a good interview. That's the journalist's way to go. I want to have a good conversation. And yes, you can have good conversations talking politics. It's just harder to do. So just keep that in mind. I've seen bigger streamers start to play more original games and try to trust their viewers to come along with the ride. Yeah, Maximilian Dude did that, where he, like, for the longest time, he was only ever streaming Ultimate Marvel 3. Drak, it's been great, bud, but I'm off to sleep. Take care and wish Andrea well. I will go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for showing up, Bobby. It was good to see you, and I'm glad that the holidays worked out for you. Fortnite and Apex are so over... Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was good to see you, dude. Have a good night, and yeah, it was great being able to catch up. Fortnite and Apex are so overstreamed. Why can't the developers come up with new games for 2022? Well... they're overstreamed. You kind of answered your question, Robin. The money is being made with those, and so unfortunately the gaming industry is looking at and going, well, we need to more emulate this so that we can join in on the cash cow that's being milked than creating something new, which is one of my big beefs. Gaming used to be multiple kinds of crazes going on at the same time. Now it's just like whatever's popular in the mainstream. But when I was growing up, gaming wasn't mainstream. And so we could have people be fans of RPGs and platformers and Metroidvanias, and it was fine. It was great. You can't do that anymore. Not from the mainstream set. Everything has to be shooters. Everything has to be Overwatch. Everything has to be League of Legends, and that's the only things that are ever competitive. That's why in a lot of cases I actually like the fact that speedrunning has become kind of a charity thing, which is cool because seeing speedrunners do their job and do it as good as they do it, and it's for a good cause, that's pretty freaking awesome in my opinion. I mean, I'm kind of done with games done quick, but I would definitely watch like the streamer on their channel do that. But what I was actually talking about with Jiro is Maximilian used to do that because he, like, there was a while where he would only stream Ultimate Marvel 3 and Killer Instinct. And then he started doing like these retro nights where they would go and play older fighting games, and people latched onto that. I love that because like I hadn't seen X-Men Children of the Atom in forever. And so it was cool to be able to see the Sega Saturn version, which was the best version. Or did it come out on Dreamcast? I can't remember. But like that's the best version. That's the closest to the arcade. And be able to see some really good matches out of that. And so eventually he just kind of moved that into playing solo, and then we got to have really cool Resident Evil streams from him. So at that point, you are taking a risk, but in a lot of cases, the viewers are willing to come along for the ride as long as it's entertaining. That's really all that matters to them. Is, you know, they want to see the exact same tropes that happen within a Maximilian stream or a Ninja stream that they would see during a Fortnite stream. Kind of thing. That's all they care about. And I'm no different. That's what I care about. I love seeing, like, when Andrea just barely got into Resident Evil, I had a ton of fun bringing up Maximilian streams because his wife would come up behind him and just try to scare the shit out of him, and they were always good pranks, and it was always funny. And even Max appreciated the humor in it. So, like, there's still good entertainment there, but it's what he's done with any other scary game or any other moment where he's so enveloped in what he's doing that his wife can scare the bejesus out of him. You know, that it's the exact same thing. More battle royales are being made. Halo's multiplayer is modeled like that. Yeah, it really is. Well, perfect example. Final Fantasy VII just got made into a battle royale with the first soldier. You're going to have a bunch of franchises go that way until that model is no longer making any money, and then the next big craze will take over. That's why in a lot of cases, a lot of RPGs these days, like action RPGs, are built like MMOs, where they have talent trees and where they have big enveloping stories and huge maps, is because that's what the game companies think is worthwhile, is making MMO likes instead of games with really awesome stories that are maybe like 20 hours long. And I hope the gaming industry realizes that this is not the way to go, that they should kind of go back to the Uncharted formula, where a game can be 20 hours and still be fucking enjoyable, and people can get their money's worth out of it. And because there's a lesser budget, there's more money to be made. There's more profit ceiling. Because one of the downsides of battle royales, as well as MMOs, is they are exorbitant in funds. They take a lot of money to make them. And so at that point, it's harder to get your overall profit out of them. Cash cows, more like sour milk. As consumers, we need to do better this new year and demand more quality and more creative games. Absolutely, Robin. That's why I'm saying, like, we need to take games like Doom 2016 and show that that's just as viable as Fortnite. Because then at that point, the gaming industry is going to look at that and go, well, it doesn't take as much money to make Doom as it does Fortnite. Let's do Doom and make some profit out of it. And then if we want to do a Fortnite, That's just one project out of 3 or 4 that we're doing. And that would be amazing. PUBG, Counter-Strike, Doom, Quake, Halo, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy. Please, Electronic Arts, come up with something new. Sorry, give me a second. Sorry, you threw me off a little bit by expecting EA to do something new. I didn't see that coming. Because they won't. It's also harder now because of having to work more remotely. It's taking twice as long to develop, so people are more scared to go outside the box. Yep. That's why... Well, here's the thing. If you were making a game that's 20 hours, yeah, it would take longer, but look at the development time of those games. It's not long. They can pump them out quicker than they can with anything MMO related. And so at that point, it doesn't matter as long as you have something genuine. And here's the thing. Yes, they're working remotely, but they actually do have moments where they do meet together to kind of go over everything that they're working on. So, you know, they're still meeting each other every now and again. I actually like the idea that working remotely has become a little bit easier because now you actually have U.S. game developers who don't want to work for the U.S. studios. They want to work for Europe. They want to work for Japan because they feel there's more passion there. And now they have the option to do it. And a lot of those companies are becoming a lot more viable or a lot more amiable to that, because as long as the artist or the programmer that they're working with delivers the product that they want, they're willing to wait for it because they know that they'll get a good product from it. We need not to buy at launch and buy beta games. Are you saying we need to buy beta games or not buy betas? Because it feels like that's kind of going opposite. Because I would actually say yes, we do not need... do you need to buy a game at launch? Well, the gaming industry will tell you yes. You absolutely need to buy a game at launch. You don't need to, though. That's the reality. You don't need to buy a game at launch, especially if you don't have as much faith in it. I remember so many people getting so pissed at me because I didn't buy Cyberpunk 2077 at launch. Well, why didn't I do that? I wasn't really invested in the company, and the stuff that they were putting out wasn't really interesting me. And it turns out it was a buggy mess. Gee, it's almost like I made the right decision. And so at that point, I agree with you. I think, well, what needs to happen is the right games need to be supported at launch. And what I mean by right games are games that are not immediately cash cows. If you want to support something at launch, I would actually say go in the indie game route. Like, we have a bunch of new games that are set to come out in 2022, like The Last Faith. Support that and get that at launch. Don't go and buy Fortnite patch bajillion. You know, like, that's what it is. And launch games are basically beta games, not fully tested. An example, yes, I would agree with you on that. And I have actually heard about that, but they've now had a couple of months to work on that game and patch it. So I'm happy to say that we'll be taking a look at it this Saturday, but it's been out for a while, and they basically used Markiplier and all of those people as test subjects. So thanks. You did the job of their QA team for me. So we'll check it out. But if it's still bad, I'm still gonna call it bad. But yeah, you're not wrong either. There are a lot of games that are coming out right now that are beta clients at least, and that needs to stop. It needed to stop 5-10 years ago, when Elder Scrolls was doing it. In fact, I blame Bethesda for that being a craze, because they were one of the people that were doing it, is putting out a beta client instead of a finished product, because they didn't want to pay for a QA team. I can at least say with the earlier years of Blizzard, when a beta came up, the beta was pretty much done. It was mostly so that YouTubers and stuff like that could enjoy the beta and showcase the new content, as well as figure out some last-minute bugs. It's not the case in Shadowlands or in Battle for Azeroth, but it was back in Wrath of the Lich King. So, but I agree with you on that. And if that's the craze of the US studios, don't buy the games at launch. It's either that, or you should be getting those games for half off. Why do I say that? Because you should be looking the GameStop people in the eye and going, that's my fee for doing quality assurance. Simply that. Like, why do we have to be the beta testers and we don't even get paid for it? Because, unfortunately, the gaming industry looks at us like lemmings. Well, the only way that you could change their viewpoint on us is if you stop being lemmings. That's the hard truth of it. You don't stop it any other way. So hopefully that answers the question to an extent. Like, then I'm going back to classic comic books for entertainment. PlayStation and Xbox developers seem lazy or playing it too safe. I've got a better idea for you, Robin. Go back to PlayStation. Are you sure you played every game in the PlayStation library? I'm bringing this up kind of as a joke, but also as something to consider. Because I've been getting a lot of flack for the fact that I'm doing Geek News Game Night the way I am. Because apparently the only way that you can be a game reviewer is you review the current shit. And you put it out as fast as the other journalists. And I refuse to do that. That's one of the tenets of Geek News Game Night, is that I'm going to give a game its fair shake. Whether that takes a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'm going to give it its fair shake. And so at that point, one of the things that I've already said with it is that I'm just going to stick to, like, I'm not restricting myself. I can take on new games if I want to. But most of the stuff that I'm taking on right now is retro. Why? Because there are so many gems in the libraries of various consoles that I can cover right now. And I'd have no problem covering whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. So I would ask that you expand your horizons a little bit, Robin. Why not go and try, like, I'm just assuming here for a second that you have like a PlayStation 4 as well as a PlayStation 5. Are there any games on PlayStation 4 you haven't played? Why don't you go try them out? See if you like them. That's kind of what I'm doing with Geek News Game Night, is I'm also utilizing it as an excuse, in a way, to be able to go and play the games that I haven't played yet. To go work on the giant list that I have. And I love the idea. I absolutely love the idea, because here's the thing. As much as EA thinks that I have to be their pay pig for them to continuously put stuff out, I could easily go back into the NES library, the SNES library, and spend the rest of my life playing games on those systems that I never tried. I could. Absolutely. And I would never have to pay any current company a dime. And I don't think they've realized this yet. I could literally do that the rest of my life and not pay for a single new game the rest of my days. Man, that would suck for them, wouldn't it? Because there's just so much entertainment out there. I like Xbox games, like Halo, but it's getting a bit boring. I'm more a fan of esports, but WoW is getting dull. Like World of Warcraft or WoW, it's getting dull. Go look into a new esport. That would be my answer to you. Like, if you're bored of Halo multiplayer esports, there are other esports. Go look into a fighting game tournament. Try that out. I literally enjoy the hell out of watching I've never watched a League of Legends tournament, and I have no intention of watching it because I'm not interested in the product. But I'm very interested in the Killer Instinct tournament because I love Killer Instinct. And I want to see the best at that game play it. So we are beta bitches. Well, if that's the way you want to look at it, until the gaming industry realizes we can live without them, they can't live without us. Think about it. I just want new stuff. I get it. Everybody wants the new hotness. But let's change that perspective. Just because it's old doesn't mean that it isn't new to you. It may not be the new hotness right off the bat, but it's definitely something you haven't tried yet. But let's go down the route that you're saying. Do you have to just buy new stuff from EA? No. Why don't you go support a company like, I don't know, Capcom instead? Like a company that you think does give you that quality product, and buy new stuff from them. I wish I could read Japanese, that I could find new stuff to enjoy. You could try manga. Manga's English translated. That's a way to do it. Or one of the things that I did in 2021, and I have no problem continuing in 2022, look into the indie scene. Literally look into it. There's a lot of games coming out in the indie scene that, even though they don't look like the new hotness, man, they look really good. Because at that point, it's not just that, you know, you could have an early 3D kind of design. I mean, for crying out loud, Among Us came from the indie scene. Fortnite, to an extent, came from the indie scene. Minecraft came from the indie scene. So a lot of interesting ideas have come from the independent scene. And who knows, maybe you'll find something that you like just as much as Halo or Fortnite or Apex. You never know. And you won't know until you try. That's the thing. And I promise, I'm not like talking down to you or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, this is a reality. You know, it looks like a very daunting thing to do, but you might enjoy it. That's the thing. I never looked into indie games because it always looked too big for me. And because there wasn't a solid place to be able to go and get all of the indie game trailers, I would never be able to see everything. So in that case, like, I always kind of looked at that as, this is just too big a mountain. But then here's the thing. I found channels on YouTube that do cover a lot of them, and that were able to show me a lot of new shit that I could get behind and I could really enjoy. And they were showing me these trailers, and they were showing me where to support it and where to get updates on it. And that's what I appreciated more. And I actually am looking forward to the fact that a lot of those games are coming out in 2022, and I can showcase them. I have a friend that streams English translated otomes that are basically new, and indies do a lot of good games. Subnautica or Darkest Dungeons are good examples. Yeah, no, exactly. Dude, Markiplier did Subnautica for a while there, didn't he, Jiro? And I think even Jacksepticeye did some of the DLC updates that would come for that. Let's hope for the best. Maybe E3 this summer 2022 will be good. I hope so, dude. I honestly do. If you want, I can, like, if you don't follow me on Twitter, one of the goals that I'm going to try and do this year in 2022 is to showcase some of those indie game trailers. So if you want, follow me on Twitter, and I'll put those up, and you can you watch them, and what's the worst that could happen? You don't like it. Yeah, he did Subnautica, and Darkest Dungeon is 2 out, or is it's still coming out? So you have Darkest Dungeon, you have Darkest Dungeon 2, I know a lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying it, but Raid Shadow Legends is a thing too. Raid Shadow Legends. No, I'm not sponsored. Those are definitely things that you can look into. But I can already tell you there are a couple of games I'm looking into on 2022 that are AAA that are interesting to me. But most of my stuff is indie related, and you can check out the trailers there because I want to give them the spotlight that they deserve, in my opinion, because they're doing what AAA isn't. They're creating games with passion, with drive, with story, the stuff that we used to love in video games that doesn't really exist anymore. At least not in the way that we appreciated it. But let's see, like, what are so some of the things that that I know are going to be coming up for like new game nights. Pokemon Legends Arceus, we're going to be covering that. Horizon Forbidden West, I'm excited for that, despite the fact that the gaming industry has decided that Gamergate needs to be a thing again. I literally loved one day where they decided that in a 12-hour period, first Aloy was too hot, and then she was too ugly. They couldn't make up their minds. And also the fact that she was apparently the only badass female character that has ever existed in video games. So ignore the fact that Samus Aran was a thing, and Chun-Li, and Mai Shiranui were things. No, they never existed. Aloy is the first one that ever existed. Maybe in your own little retarded world. Sorry, I didn't mean to dig out the R word, but I mean, you're seeing the forest for the trees. When there's tons of examples in front of you, and then you point out the one, it tells me that you've got ginormous tunnel vision. Indie games are fine. It's a niche market. So the dilemma is the big money is in AAA games, even if niche games are more creative. I need to learn Korean too. Can't help you with that one. I do have Korean friends, but I've never been... Ever since I learned Elvish, I have not been able to teach myself Japanese or Korean. I will eventually, I'm sure, but... Yeah, so we have Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring. I'm excited for that just because I saw a lot of the closed beta stuff on it. Babylon's Fall, I'm excited for. Triangle Strategy, I'm looking forward to. Despite the fact that it is Chaos the game, I am looking forward to Stranger of Paradise. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Forspoken. Oh, jeez. And then, there are things that don't even have release dates yet that I'm waiting to see if maybe we get more trailers on, like God of War Ragnarok or the Insomniac Wolverine game, things like that. So, like in the AAA sphere, I'm still looking at stuff, and I'm hoping that other things can happen in that process too. I really wish WoW would turn itself around and focus more on story, but right now it's more interested in checking off checklists than telling actual stories, which is a crying fucking shame. In fact, that's one of the other things that I actually have set up for this year is I also want to do, and this sounds weird, but I'll bring it up to you guys just to put it out there. One of the other things I love doing is analyzing some of the stories and character arcs that can happen within games like WoW or in anime or other places. And so I would love to be able to do a video series where I can analyze that and be able to showcase maybe something that somebody hasn't necessarily considered. For example, some of the ideas that I've already had with it is... two ideas that I have are showcasing the problems with Sylvanas in Shadowlands and the fact that they are really wrecking the character over at Blizzard. And it's a crying shame because they had lightning in a bottle and they have reduced it to nothing but cinders. So that'll be one of them. Another one that I'm actually kind of interested in doing, and Dragon Ball fans will hate me for this, but... I'm going to bring a very unpopular opinion, and that is that Dragon Ball fans, you don't realize this, but you've been hating Bulma for a long time now, and there's a reason why, and I'm going to bring it up to you, but whether you take it is entirely up to you. Because I hate Bulma for these reasons, and I know that there are Dragon Ball fans that absolutely fucking hate Bulma, and here's why. So I kind of want to do that video. Or I want to do like villain analysis on why this villain is a great idea and why it worked as opposed to something else that did something similar. And so I like that idea too, and being able to analyze that stuff, because I love the creative process. I like being able to go into that character work and say, okay, well, you know, this is where the character was going, and did they hit that, or did they miss it, or did they take it even further than it could have possibly gone? Because that's cool to me. I'm a geek like that. I appreciate moments like that. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that answers your question. There are things that I'm looking forward to from AAA as well as indie. It's just I'm more critical of indie, and I'm more critical of AAA, and I'm going to continue to be, because AAA could easily be doing what they've been doing in the past and trounce indie games, and they're not. They're making the stupid decisions, and part of it is because they want to get into the Chinese market, and part of it is just because they want to be able to do nothing more than milk money out of their existing fan base. I'm wearing him on my shirt. Disney's doing that now. Walt probably wouldn't have done it. Maybe he would have. I don't know. But current Disney definitely is. From what I understand, Book of Boba Fett is basically trying to cash in on what made The Mandalorian great, and it's failing at it. So that's not surprising to me. Okay, guys. Well, I hate to say this, but we are coming up on 10 o'clock, and we actually do have a new schedule for the kids to be able to follow, so I actually do need to get to bed somewhat early. But thankfully, in future streams, it won't be that early, so it'll be kind of helpful. But I have to adjust to that. Plus, the Gandalf voice is getting really raspy, and eventually, I'll probably go deep enough in order to do a Saruman. So I probably better head to bed. But it was so great to be able to talk to you guys. I know that some people came hoping to see more Dead Cells, and who knows, maybe you will, because I will be doing a lot more solo streams in the future, so you guys can look forward to that. In the meantime, though, I will send your well wishes to Andrea and let her know that you guys were thinking of her, and I am still planning on streaming tomorrow. Andrea's hoping to be able to stream too, so either we will take on a new game or we will finish up Horizon. I will talk to her about that and see how we want to do it. But also, I want to let people know, in the coming days, look forward to new videos basically kind of explaining not only, because I have like a happy holidays message as well that I'm going to be putting out. So that'll be happening, but also some of the changes that are going to be happening with the YouTube channel as well as with the podcast and some of the other things that we're planning with that. So look forward to that in the coming days. Until then, have a good night, everybody. Take care, and I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow.